Hi, this is Bruce Buffer, your voice of the Octagon, and you're listening to MMA Mental.
Okay, we are now joined by Ulysses Gomez. Gomez recently fought in the UK for the UFC, and then unfortunately was one of the guys who was cut, along with obviously quite a few of the big names. So we'll discuss everything that's been going on. First of all, let's talk a little bit about London. How did you find fighting in the UK?
Actually, man, fighting in the UK was awesome. The fans were very receptive. Everybody I talked to before the fight and after the fight was super nice, cordial. So I really liked fighting in the UK. I don't really like the UK judges, but I mean, that has nothing to do, with the fans. It was cool. It was good.
And what did you do? I know you were in the UK for about at least a week before the fight. Did you get to go and see many of the sites?
Yeah, we arrived Saturday, I think it was February 9th. So the next day, Sunday, we went to the Tower of London and we saw the London Bridge. And then on Wednesday, the week of the fight, we went to Buckingham Palace and the Eye of London and Big Ben. And then Saturday we went to Wembley Arena, got in a fist fight, and that was about it.
And did you find obviously the crowd at Wembley did you find the crowd quite good as well? I know you said the people were nice before and after the fight, but you didn't find the crowd hostile at all?
I knew first, like, walking into the arena, like it was more packed. When I fought in California at the UFC on Fox, that was the first fight night as well, and it wasn't as packed as the Fuel card. That had a lot more fans, and that was the first fight as well for that one. So there was definitely more fans came out in the beginning of the show, which was nice. Because it's always good to put your skills on in front of people. The downside was that I did get booed when I came out a little bit. But actually, I didn't really get booed. It was just more that, obviously I knew that all the fans were going to be cheering for Phil, so he got the majority of the applause, before the fight started. I think we put on a pretty good fight. It wasn't the best fight, but it definitely wasn't the worst fight as well. And the fans, seemed like they enjoyed the fight. Then when I was walking out of the arena, I was visibly upset with the decision. But I remember just walking out of the arena, leaving the cage to go to the back locker room, and there must have been 30 or 40 fans, stood up and they kind of, gave me applause. Some said that it felt I won, but, regardless whether they felt I won or not, it was nice to kind of get like a semi-standing ovation, I guess.
Yeah, that is nice. It's always nice when the fans are respectful. I think it's good. I mean, it's been said before about the UK events that the fans get there quite early on, and I've been to quite a few UK events, and I obviously personally always get there for the first fight. But it must be nice knowing that the fans were there to see all the fights, including your fight as well, because it doesn't matter where you are on the card, you work as hard as anybody else to get ready for that fight. So it's nice that you get the same respect as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, the fans, before the fight, and immediately after the fight, they were awesome. You know what I mean? Like, the crowd was definitely, they were fight fans and they were there to see fights, and I can't say anything bad about the crowd, or the fans. I can only say bad about the judges. But even then, it's my own fault for letting the fight go to this decision, so.
Then obviously we got the news then when the UFC cut quite a few fighters, and I know your name was on that list, which wasn't very pleasant. And I also got the impression from, obviously because I follow you on Twitter, that you weren't actually told. You actually heard about it over Twitter. Is that correct?
Yeah. I found out on Twitter. I guess Ariel Helwani. I knew the night before that some fighters got cut because Jay Haran, one of my good friends, and one of my training partners, he called me and told me they had cut him, and I was like, man, and he lost his first fight by decision, and he got knocked out in his last fight. I remember telling him, I was like, man, that sucks, man. I was like, I'm just like you though, I was like, I lost my first fight by knockout and my last fight by decision, He was like, yeah, but I don't think they'll cut you, you know what I mean? He's like, there's not that many guys in your division anyways. He's like, and a lot of people thought that you won the fight, this and that. But I was like, yeah, I was like, if they cut me out, I wouldn't be surprised, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to cry about it because I know it's a business decision. That was Tuesday night, then the next day was Wednesday, and I'm just, driving to the gym, Then I get to the gym and I'm checking my phone right before I start my workout, and Ariel Helwani posted an article that 16 fighters got cut. So me just being nosy, I just clicked on the article just because I wanted to see who got cut. And my name was the last one on the list. I was like, what? So I tweeted Ariel Helwani, and I was like, are you serious? I got cut? And he didn't. He replied to me a couple hours later through a direct message, But yeah, I got, I called my manager. He didn't hear yet, from the UFC. He got a hold of someone at the UFC, and they confirmed it, And it sucks, getting cut. It sucks also finding out, that happened. You had to find out online, But same exact time, it's a business, and I'll be back. I'm not worried about it.
That's the right attitude. I do think it was obviously the UFC do what they've got to do, and unfortunately, part of the game is hiring and firing. But I think if you're going to let somebody go, I think at least have the decency to let them know before it goes public. That's just my opinion. So what happens with you next then? Have you got anything lined up for the future? Obviously, I know you're a big name. There's going to be promotions out there that want you on their card. Have you been talking to any promotions?
Real quick about the UFC, how they released me, the way they released me. I mean, I'm not upset about it, because they gave me the opportunity to fight, in front of hundreds of thousands of people and make a bigger name for myself and make some extra money, So, if the way I got cut, whether I agreed with it or someone else agreed with it, that's not my main concern. My main concern is, what the UFC gave me, and they gave me the opportunity to make money, and promote myself, my fight, and, my technique. So I'm more happy about that than being upset about the way that I got cut,
Yeah, I think it's a good attitude to have. I think that's refreshing to hear that actually. Obviously it affects you, and if you can look at it like that, I think that's fantastic. So going back to the question, where do you go from here then? Have you got anything else lined up?
I've gotten a couple of different offers from different shows. But my managers, they're kind of looking through what's the best possible show and time frame as far as when I could fight. I want to stay busy. I didn't get hurt from the fight. I had 3 stitches on my eye, and that's pretty much about it. So I want to stay busy. But ultimately, they're my managers, and I pay them a good amount of money for a reason. So they'll tell me who I fight and when I fight. So as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know, man. But right now, it's just pretty much all on their shoulders.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as you know something, you've got something come up, let us know. You can come back on again, and we can talk about about your next fight and where you go from here. But I obviously really appreciate you coming on. I know it's been a little bit of a difficult couple of weeks, obviously with the close loss and then being released. So I appreciate your time. And yeah, just keep us in the loop. We're always interested to know what you're up to. I mean, I follow you on Twitter and Facebook anyway, but yeah, definitely let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things like, I was happy with my performance against Phil. He's a tough guy. I felt comfortable on the feet, so I kind of wanted to keep on the feet. In hindsight, maybe I probably should have took him down and used my jiu-jitsu because I feel my jiu-jitsu was better than him. But at the same time, I mean, it's hindsight. What if I would have took him down? I would have got submitted. I'm trying to prove a point. Who knows? But regardless of the outcome of the fight, I mean, I was kind of happy with my performance, and now I gotta build on that, So the next person I fight, I mean, like I gotta be a little bit more aggressive, not fight so much going backwards, you know what I mean? So, we'll see. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I personally can't wait to see you fighting again. I've enjoyed watching you fight, and I enjoyed watching you fight live in Wembley. Obviously, I was quite, I was there in the crowd. But before we let you go, just give you a chance to do any shout-outs. Want to shout out any friends, family, sponsors, and of course, we want you back on when you know what's going on with your future as well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like my sponsors, I mean, it's Fear the Fighter. They took care of me a lot, especially after my last fight when I got knocked out. Some fighters, some sponsors jumped off my bandwagon, but they stayed on, so I appreciate them, and Red Gear, Lexani, Trump United, they've all took care of me. So did Training Mask, on.com. I know they do supplements. They helped me out, I mean, I felt, they have this alpha brain that's supposed to make you a little bit more, mentally clear, and, I definitely felt, more clear, more sharp in my fight, That was the first time I actually felt comfortable in it was my 13th fight, and that was the first time I felt comfortable in the cage, and I've always, rushed things or not felt comfortable, so kind of excited about that, to see what I can build on now.
Well, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Ulysses. It's been great having you back on the show, and I look forward to having you back on the show again in the future.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.